Supreme Lord, eternal truth, let us obey thee alone and live according to truth. Namaste, good evening, welcome all of you. Bande Matram. Today, in this evening, we will have a very interesting discussion, an interesting spiritual discussion on the growth, on the birth of the flame. We'll have a very nice and very interesting, most touching aspect, the birth of the flame. So the flame, the Divine Mother, Supreme Mother, takes birth. Once again, she took her divine unfinished work. So this was the continuously her birth was taking place on this fallen globe. The work she was carrying out to uplift this abandoned world, to change the destiny of this suffering humankind at a large. Once again she began her divine unfinished world. We will have a focus on this birth of the flame. So when her birth was taking place, how the ground was being prepared, Sri Aurobindo quotes here. Then spring, an ardent lover, lived through the leaves and caught the earth bride in his eager clasp. The description, nature description of the season, the king of the season, so-called the spring, has been described. Then spring, an ardent lover, lived through the leaves and caught the earth bride in his eager clasp. His advent was a fire of irised hues. His arms were a circle of the arrival of joy. His voice was called to the transcendent sphere, whose secret touch upon our lives keeps ever new the thrill that made the world. Just imagine how this is prepared, spring, the arrival of spring, because slight later, the birth will take place. This is the preparation going on. Then Sri Aurobindo quotes few lines later. Sri Aurobindo quotes here. He made her body beautiful with his kiss. He made joy a willing prisoner in her breast. His grasp was a young girl's upon the earth's limb. His coming brought the magic and a spell. His peacock turban trailing on the trees. His breath was a warm summons to delight. His dense, voluptuous azure was his gaze. Just imagine how was the world preparing, how it is loveliness, how the peace is spreading over, how there is delight, how everything is blissful. Just imagine the color and the hue, how it is changing, how the world is colorful at the arrival of the Divine Mother, because she has to come back, she has to descend, she has to take birth, and she has to once again start her divine unfinished play that was left little before. Then Sri Aurobindo writes here, all sights and voices yove a single charm. All sights and voices yove a single charm. The life of the enchanted globe became a storm of sweetness and light and song. Just imagine how the world is preparing itself for the divine birth, Supreme Mother's birth, how the world is preparing. The life of the enchanted globe became a storm of sweetness and of light and of song. So imagine just that this globe is preparing a storm of sweetness and of light and song, a reveal of color and ecstasy, a hymn of praise, a litany of cries. It is just imagine how the world is preparing itself for the life. Then a sacrifice of perfume filled the hours. There is perfume filled the hour because Divine Mother is coming to once again start her divine unfinished work. Asokas burned in crimson spots of flame, pure like the breath of an unstained desire. White jasmines haunted the enamored air, pale mango blossoms fed the liquid voice of the love-maddened soil, and the brown bee muttered in fragrance mid the honey bursts. Just imagine that. Imagine how the color, how the hue is there, how the fragrance is filling up. The sunlight was a great god's golden smile. The sun, imagine in this description of nature in Sri Aurobindo's original hands. From the level of the supramental level, it is descending, and how magnificently he describes the natures, about the description of nature he is doing here. All nature was at beauty's festival. The sunlight was the great girl's golden smile. In this unique moment, in this momentous hour, what happens? In this high signal moment of the gods, answering earth yearning at her cry for bliss, a greatness from our other countries came. A silence, a greatness from our other countries came. What unimaginable, unexpected from everyone. It is coming from our other spheres. It is coming other countries. It is coming. A silence in the noise of earthly things. It's a noise everywhere. There is noise, there is liturgy, there is color, there is hue. There inside all is silence in the noise of earthly things. Immutably revealed the secret word. A mightier influx filled the oblivious clay. A mightier influx it comes. A mightier influx it comes. The might of all that never yet come down. She is the mother of all godheads and all strengths, mediatrix who binds creation to the supreme. She comes. The might of all that never yet came down, and she has given the assurance to the world, to the king, Raja Ashwapati. He has assured, one shall descend and break the iron law, change nature's doom by the lone spirits of power. Imagine she is coming with all her forces, all her willingness. She is coming because the world is crying, world is praying, world is asking for her arrival. A world's desire compelled her mortal birth. Not only asking, it is compelling others. Original and mortal birth, it is compelling, asking for. Then mightier influx filled the oblivious clay. A lamp was lit, a sacred image made. A mediating ray had touched the earth. The earth was touched with the mediating ray. And bridging the gulf between man's mind and God's. There was a huge gulf, huge difference. There was a huge gap between man's mind and God's mind. A mediating ray, this ray is coming and it had touched the earth. After touching the earth, bridging the gulf between the man's mind and God's. Its brightness linked our attentions to the unknown. There is a brightness, huge brightness. And this brightness, what did? The bridging the gulf between man's mind and God's. And in second chapter, in the next step, what is he doing? Linked our transience to the unknown. A spirit of its celestial source aware, translating heaven into a human shape, descended into earth's imperfect mood, and wept not, fallen to mortality. Coming from the higher sphere, coming from the larger Aditi, herself is descending, but never complaining of her coming down to the mortality, leaving behind her white sincerity, white eternity, her immortality she is leaving behind and coming, being compelled by the prayer of this untrodden, downtrodden earth and of this fallen people. She is coming, but wept not fallen to mortality, but looked on all with large and tranquil eyes. On one had returned from the transcendent plains, and bore anew the load of mortal breath, broad anew. 1 second she is taking the care, taking the burden. She is preparing to carry the world outward to upwards. Who had striven of world with the darkness and our pain, initially till now, Mother speaks. In the beginning, whenever there was possibility of manifesting a ray of consciousness, I was there. Mother speaks, I was there. Here also saying, who had striven of world with our darkness and our pain. This world is circumscribed by unnatural darkness and uncertain pains, and she has been striving for us. She has been striving for us. She is taking care. She is moving us. She is rising us to the divinity's height. She took again her divine unfinished work. Work is divine but unfinished because she is carrying out from birth to birth according to the evolutionary consciousness that is proceeding on the evolutionary way. She is doing the things. She took again her divine unfinished task, survivor of a death and aeonic years. Once more with her fathomless heart she confronted time. Her heart is fathomless. Once more with her fathomless heart she fronted time. Again there was renewed again the revealed. So not for the first time he is coming, this is renewal is there, and also revelation is also there. The ancient closeness by earth vision veiled, the secret contact broken up in time, a consanguinity of earth and heaven between the human proportions toiling here and as an yet unborn and limitless force. Just imagine coming. She is concealing everything. He is coming to carry forward her unfinished work. She is prepared. She is coming to with a determination. She has her own mission to change, and she has once again she is carrying out the range cosmic force into her hands. Again, the deep attempt began. The daring vigor of the cosmic game once again started. The mystic deep attempt began again. For since upon this blind and wheeling globe, earth plasm first quivered with the illumining mind. Just imagine, earth plasm first quivered with the illumining mind. When we know the mind about the spiritual structure mind, then comes our spiritual mind. In spiritual mind, there are also some hierarchies. There are higher mind, illumined mind, intuitive mind, over mind, then super mind. So up to illumined mind, Buddha Deva has the utmost. Sri Aurobindo quotes here, earth plasm first quivered with the illumining mind, with the initial arrival of the mother, with her birth, the earth plasm quivered with illumined mind. Mother in her through her debate with Lord of Death also speak, world spirit, I was the equal spirit born. When I was born, I was the equal spirit I was born. And life invaded the material sheath, afflicting inconscience with the need to feel. Inconscience had to quiver. It has to know the need to feel. It has to be changed. So many ways Mother is coming, Divine Mother is coming and influencing the inconscience with the need to feel. Since in infinity silence we yoke a word, it was totally voiceless, totally hush, they are broke a word. A mother wisdom works in nature's breast to pour delight on the heart of toil and want. The mother wisdom works where? In the nature's breast, to pour delight on the heart of toil and want, and praise perfection on life's tumbling powers. She has to come, she has to praise perfection, she has to bring transformation, she has to carry it forward, man has to attain their divinity sides. Impose heaven sentience on the obscure abyss and make dumb matter conscious of the God, conscious of its God. Matter has forgotten God, and this heaven sentience, it is among the obscurity. They have to come forward, they have to feel, they have to be conscious of, so it is there, it is working. Although our fallen minds forget to climb, although our human stops resist or breaks, very much limited. Human mind, our fallen minds and our human stop is very much limited. She keeps her will that hopes to divinize clay. But her mission is there in spite of all these shortcomings, all these loopholes, all these insufficiency bondage and these limitations. She is determined, she hopes to divinize the clay. Failure can't repress, defeat, overthrow. Time can't weary nor the void subdue. The ages have not made her passions less. Just imagine during the arrival and the passage of age, she is coming, she is crying, so she is not at all harassed or not giving up the hope. No victory she admits of death or fate. Always she drives the soul to new attempt, not to the human being, to the soul, to the new attempt. Failure can't overthrow, or death can't suppress. Always her magical infinitude forces to aspire the inert brute elements. As one who has all infinity to waste, she is the infinity mother, the divine mother, prodigal of her rich divinity. What she was, she had lent to men. As one who has all infinity to waste. Waste for what? For this land he has given for this human being to rise into their own divinity heights. She scatters the seed of the eternal strength on a half animate and a crumbling mood, scattered everything. Plants heaven's delight in the heart's passionate mire, pours Godhead seeking into the bare breast frame. Man can be changed. May hide immortality in a mask of death, man must change. Thank you.